All right, everyone. Welcome. And we're the day after Friday, April 24th, the day after the NFL draft, the first round. We've seen 32 picks so far, and there were definitely some surprises in the first round and a lot of fantasy implications. 11 offensive fantasy players, wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks taken in the first round. And today we're just going to look at them and try to decide what this means for dynasty rosters and the 2020 rookie draft for dynasty leagues. We'll just go ahead and start off. Riley, why don't you just start us off with the 101?
Yeah, so 101, no surprises here. We had Joe Burrow, quarterback out of LSU, going to the Cincinnati Bengals. If this was a surprise to you, you've been living under a rock for the past 5 months. I'm excited about it. I think in your dynasty rosters, you got to put him – you're going to have to pay like top 10 quarterback numbers to acquire him. And I think if you got the chance to get him, considering that's what his value is, I don't see how you can pass on it.
Yeah, I mean, some people that have the 101, they're going to have a tough decision on their hands. They're either going to have to decide if they want to go, quarterback with potentially a franchise player in Joe Burrow or possibly one of the top skill players at running back. Will, you got a skill player down there with an offensive lineman from your favorite collegiate school. You have any thoughts so far about, Joe Burrow and what it might have for implications on the 101?
Well, I think it doesn't change anything because I think you're going to realize who you need to take at 101. I would hope. You've already invested a little bit into Kansas City because you thought Swift was going there, but even though Edwards-Helaire is going to get his chance, I still think 101 should be Joe Burrow, no question.
Yeah, I mean, the 101 in the NFL draft, it would just be idiotic for someone not to take a 101 in the dynasty draft. So, yeah, let's not spend too much time on Joe Burrow. Let's go ahead and go to the fifth pick last night. Miami. Riley just thinks something's so funny. We're going to the fifth pick, Miami Dolphins. Yeah, they went Tua. Was that a surprise to either one of you?
No, absolutely not. There's such hype around Tua. I don't understand why he's been getting a lot of hate. Everybody's just said he's healthy. There's no bad tape on the guy on just playing just football. All the injuries aside, you watch him on football, he doesn't do anything wrong. He really doesn't. I believe in him. It's a good situation. It's a team that's on their way back into being a decent team. And he has a few weapons. They're still probably going to go out and get a running back. I think he's going to be a great quarterback.
Yeah, I expect that we're going to see Miami take a running back today, within the next 4 hours. Riley, you have any thoughts about Tua, Miami, and, what it might do for any rosters with him going there?
I mean, it's a lot of what we've thought for a long time. I'm not surprised they went Tua instead of Herbert. One thing about Tua, that it's kind of an underrated stat, but he had – over like the past 5 years, when you're talking about college football, when you're talking about throwing across the field, so like you're on the right hash, you're throwing to the left, his accuracy in the short and intermediate game was the highest of any college quarterback in like the past, I think it's like 6 years or something like that. So you're talking about a guy that's absolutely incredibly accurate. I mean, I get the injury concerns, but when you're in Miami's situation and you've got a guy that is, as long as he's on the field, is probably the closest thing to a lock at the quarterback position that you're going to get at 5 overall, I think you got to take it.
Yeah, right there with you. And that, right there, let's go ahead and, throttle right into Justin Herbert. Next pick off the board to the Los Angeles Chargers. Do you expect Tyrod to start any games to begin the year? Do you expect Justin Herbert to win that, with this weird offseason there's going to be? Where do you guys stand with Justin Herbert and his dynasty value going to LA?
I think his value right now should still be, if you're in need of that third or even maybe a second quarterback, I think you have to spend a late first on him. He's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna start right out the gate. I think they have Tyrod for a reason. That's kind of gonna be what they did with Baker in Cleveland. I think it's gonna be along the same thing. Tyrod goes out, he's going to start, play 2, 3, 4 games. And once he has that one just bad game where they lose when they shouldn't, here comes Herbert. And I think he comes firing out the gate. I mean, the Chargers they got a good team. They have weapons. Eckler's a great running back. He can catch it and just go. You have Keenan Allen, who is one of the most underrated, most consistent receivers in the game, and Mike Williams, who can just go and get it. And they have Hunter Henry coming back. Hopefully
there
healthy.
you go.
So
there you go.
Hopefully healthy. We'll see. But
Yeah.
I think it's a good team for a young quarterback to go into. So I think you could be like a late first round, or if you need it, maybe a mid like 1.6, 1.7. But I don't put him on the pedestal of Burrow or Tua just yet.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a tier break. I think a lot, like, this is just kind of my prediction. I think they want Tyrod to go in and they want to let Herbert kind of feel his way into it. But I think there has to be like I don't even care if they're in the playoff race, like 100% chance that going into the last month of the season, considering the Chargers, like, and we got to think real world here, like these owners, they're in this team to make money. And the Chargers are moving into their new stadium next year. They're kind of just in they're in limbo right now. Like they don't want to be where they're at, but they're super excited to get in that new stadium. They need to start selling tickets. They need to get people excited for the franchise. Justin Herbert, he's going to get a shot in year one.
Yeah,
100%. I don't know when it's going to come, but he is going to get his shot. He's going to find the field. Physically, dude's got all the tools. He's going to have to work on his consistency a little bit, but I think he's got the weapons around him to kind of make up for any deficiencies he might have.
Yeah, it's a big question mark right now, and we're really not going to know what he's going to offer until, we see it on Sundays. Let's go to the 12th pick with the Las Vegas Raiders. It was the first surprise of the night. I would have never and ever picked Ruggs to go as the first wide receiver out of this class. Why? What are you guys thinking John Gruden saw maybe to take Ruggs over Judy and CD, both of them available, and he went Ruggs?
I don't know if it was John Gruden as much as like the ghost of Al Davis coming back and just picking the fastest guy in the draft. Like that's such a Raiders move. Like just go pick the fastest dude in the draft. Like
Hayward Bay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that being said, I don't think it's all that bad.
I don't think it's all that bad either.
And if we're talking from a dynasty perspective, dude, he's their wide receiver one now.
Yeah, but he's their wide receiver.
Who else they got?
They have Derek Carr. They have Derek Carr throwing in the ball.
Well, all right. Last year, I mean, they passed it somewhat efficiently
to Darren the Waller.
Yeah, and when you look at last year, the Raiders, I think they had the lowest percentage of deep ball throws in the league. Like everything was in the short game because they didn't have
Carr threw for 70% last year completion percentage.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
on short game.
Yeah, on short game. Like they didn't take any shots downfield, and I think now if they take Ruggs at 12, they have to have a role for him, like in mind. Like I don't think they're just saying, "Oh, he's." Yeah, like they're not just taking him because they think he's better than Judy or he's better than Lamb. Yeah. I think they have the role in mind that they want, and that's kind of like better for me than a guy we're going to get to later who got drafted to a team where I think they just picked the best player on the board, and they were like, we don't know what the hell we're going to do with him, but we're going to pick him because he's the best guy there.
Yeah, I like Ruggs. I think he's – the only thing with him is even at Alabama – I still think he was the third best receiver behind Judy and Devontae.
Fourth, if you think Waddle.
Fourth maybe. Yeah, true. I probably put him about the same, but yeah, I think Devontae and Judy were definitely clear cuts ahead of them. But yeah, if Judy's 3, I mean, or not Judy, if Ruggs is 3, I mean, they have to see something in him, and Gruden has to know he'll be able to use him efficiently. He'll be able to move him all over the place. I think it does help Hunter Renfrow a lot. I think Renfrow is going to be a good asset next year. Yeah. It showed towards the end of the year that they wanted to try to get him the ball. And I think Ruggs is going to be good. They're going to be using him a lot. I mean, they don't really – I mean, even though they have Renfrow, I mean, Ruggs is going to be their guy. So he's going to get his targets, and I don't think they're going to go out and draft another guy, it doesn't look like, or maybe somebody late, but – He's going to be good. But I
I
still
think
think he shouldn't
yeah.
have been. He shouldn't have been the first one. But if they think they can use him wisely, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I think he's going to end up like Hollywood Brown, like boom or bust. Like he's going to have weeks where dude puts up like 30 points, and then he's going to have weeks where he gets like one catch for 7 yards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Hollywood's a big asset in Dynasty, Riley.
No, I mean Henry Ruggs is going to be a big asset too.
For sure. Let's go ahead and just move on to the next wide receiver that was taken off the board at 15 in Denver. The other Alabama wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy, he's going to go with Drew Lock, maybe play the 2, maybe 1A, 1B with Cortland Sutton at Mile High. So what are you guys thinking of Jerry Jeudy landing in Denver?
Judy, I think, probably went to the best situation of these guys. I know Ruggs, I mean, he's going in as the one, but Judy's going to be able to complement very well in that offense. I think Sutton's still going to be the one you want to have. Obviously, we've gotten to see his potential in the NFL, but I think Judy's going to be more the guy that racks up those catches because they're going to put him in the slot. That's where he's going to thrive. Cortland's going to be outside, and I think Cortland's going to be their big red zone guy. Like, he's going to get more touchdowns, but Judy's going to rack up like 60, 70 catches, I think, right off the rip this year. But I wish I could have seen I would have liked to see Judy just as his, like in Las Vegas as the number one. I think he would have been able to maybe thrive a little better, just his pure athleticism overall. I mean, he's bigger, faster, or not faster than Ruggs, but he's bigger guy and go get the ball. And Ruggs is really just that field stretcher, but I think Judy went to a good place where he can be that number 2 and still be maybe like I don't even know where I'd draft him. I mean, I guess he'd still be like
number 1. I'd
Really?
put him wide receiver. I'd put him wide receiver 1. Yeah.
I have him at 3. But okay, I don't know where he's probably 3rd. He's definitely 3rd in my rankings. Y'all aren't gonna probably agree with my rankings right now, but I like Judy. I think he's got all the potential in the world, but I still think Sutton's going to be their clear-cut number 1.
Okay. I think the real winner is Drew Lock.
Yeah, Drew Lock. They're equipping him with quite the weapon.
Yeah.
It shows they believe in him.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're forgetting about Noah Fant, who was a rookie tight end last year, and this man is a monster. Like,
yeah. He came on once Drew Lock came in at quarterback. He had some solid weeks. If we had a startup right now, would you take Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton first?
Cortland Sutton.
Jeudy.
I'd still take Sutton.
And I guess we're split there, but I guess I'd go Jeudy.
I'd probably go Jeudy too.
Yeah.
It's hard to know without seeing anything yet, but I know what Sutton can do right now.
Yeah.
So I know how they're going to use him.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason.
All right, let's round out this 3 wide receiver tree with the 17th pick, Dallas Cowboys, bringing in CeeDee Lamb from Oklahoma.
Now,
I don't know what's going on, but
blew my mind.
I don't. Yeah, Will and I watched the draft together, and when they draft, like we were on a delay, and Will saw it on his phone, and I could just see it on his face when the Cowboys come in the clock, like they were about to just set the world on fire, and set Michael Gallup on fire with it.
I knew how mad Riley was going to be because he was going to target him at probably 1-4 if he fell to. I think Riley would take him if he went to Las Vegas or Philly.
Anywhere
but Dallas. Okay.
Anywhere but the Jets. I didn't even think he would go to Dallas. I didn't even think he was going to go to the Jets, or not the Jets, but Dallas. And then there was like a lot of smoke on draft day about CD to the Cowboys, and I was like, dude,
this is another thing.
There's no way.
It's Jerry being Jerry. He's doing the drafts on his own. And I think it's not a bad pick for Dallas. I mean, I know they need defense. They lost 4 of their best players on the defensive side of the ball. So I thought that's where they were going to go. I think Jerry, or it was his son Steven, said something about it was literally between Chase On or CD, and they just went with the number 1 guy or the best player on their board. And it's good because I think it's obviously helps Dak, even though they already had a great offense.
Dak just skyrocketed.
This is Jerry telling Dak, we're gonna invest in you. Just sign with us. Don't be crazy. Don't take 40. Don't expect 40 million, but sign with us, and we're gonna get you your weapons and try and win a Super Bowl. I think that's what he's saying, and I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't like CD as much now going to the Cowboys, even though I do think he's going to be better than Gallup, but that's a lot of targets to go around.
I don't think that we should be surprised if CD goes in and within a year we're talking about he's the wide receiver one and Amari Cooper's playing second fiddle
they
to
could
that.
trade Amari. I mean, you never know. He could play a year or two and trade him.
I was just talking to Mark, and I told him right now in our league, Gallup's value is like a ham sandwich. But
maybe
but
not great.
To me, like if there's a receiver that they move on from,
it's Amari.
Yeah,
he's older. They just signed him to like 20-something a year.
He wasn't homegrown.
Yep.
No,
Jerry didn't draft him.
No, and I think they love Amari, but if there's a guy like next year, like let's say they go out and like CD and Gallup are producing at the same level as Amari, who says they don't go trade him?
Yeah. The only problem is who's going to take that contract. That's a lot of money for a receiver.
The Tennessee Titans.
Just for a receiver where you see, I mean, he just disappears sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, goes off the map. 1 week he could be a top 3 receiver off his talent. And then sometimes, I mean, he's worse than Deshaun Hamilton. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know. But I think they see CD as maybe being that next guy. And who knows, maybe in a year or two, Amari, they move on and CD's that guy and Gallup's a great number 2.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and go to the 21st pick to the Philadelphia Eagles. It was Jalen
Reagor.
Jalen Reagor. I mean, one of the speediest guys in the draft. I think he had a bad 40 at the combine, but his tape, he's a lot quicker than what his time was. I think
his pro day was like 4.28 or something like that.
Yeah, he's unbelievably fast.
Yeah, it was like 4.47 in the actual combine.
Going to Philly with Carson Wentz, I'm just glad that Carson Wentz just has someone to take the top off just so he can unload the ball instead of just trying to, dink and dunk to different running backs or intermediate game with Zach Ertz and
Goddard.
Their
number 1 and 2 receivers last year were tight ends.
Yeah. And I mean, Reagor wasn't one of the highest wide receivers on my board. I mean, he was up there, but I probably wouldn't put him in the top 5.
But he's a guy that would have to go to the perfect situation to move up in your ranks, and that's why he moved up in mine. Because I think if anybody, he went to the perfect spot.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles spend some more draft capital bringing in another wide receiver later.
Yeah, easily.
I don't. Just that's perfect for him. It's going to help Carson Wentz. He probably I don't know how you don't say he's not the one. Number wide receiver 1. I mean, Zach Ertz is there as like the first target, but when it comes to wide receivers, I mean, he's all there is there other than Alshon.
Yeah, you got Alshon coming back, but you don't know what you're getting. I mean, he's kind of been he hasn't been Alshon in a long time. Yeah,
they might cut him.
I mean, they have Deshaun coming back, but he's 32, 33. I don't think they're too in love with him, so. Rager's gonna be their guy, and I do see them taking some other guy in the later rounds.
Mm-hmm. The very next pick, Minnesota Vikings, try to fill that need where they traded Stephon Diggs to the Bills, bringing Justin Jefferson, and I don't think Justin Jefferson could have ended up in possibly any better position than that for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
he's gonna him and Adam Thielen. I mean, Justin Jefferson, to me, he's not like a wide receiver 1. But he's going to put up, great numbers for you playing right alongside Adam Thielen.
Yeah, he's going to be
– Yeah, go ahead, Will. Go ahead.
Okay. So, Justin, he's going to be that slot guy, and he's just going to rack up fantasy points in PPR no matter what. I mean, this is awesome. They were having to move Thielen a lot last year and the year before in the slot, just a lot of the formations they run. I know it's going to be a little different this year without Diggs. But now Thielen's going to be primarily on the outside. They'll have Justin in the slot. I think this is – I wanted him to go to the Philly, but that's really not what they needed. As we just discussed, they really needed that kind of guy that could be that number 1. I don't think Justin is the number 1. but he's going to be a great number 2. He's fast, he's long, and he does not miss catching the ball. And he can run after the catch. That's the best thing. I think he's in a perfect spot with one of the most accurate quarterbacks. And I love this pick.
Yeah, what I was going to say, I heard a stat this morning. Thielen kind of gets a rep as like a slot guy, but Thielen only lined up in the slot 31% of his snaps last year. And in the playoffs, when things are supposed to get tougher, Thielen's going to line up. He lined up in the slot 21% of the time. So that void of like who needs to be in the slot, there's definitely like a void there. And Justin Jefferson's going to slide right in. He's going to be a monster from day one. Really, really reliable guy on your team. Like I could see him being like Robert Woods, dude.
Yeah.
Like a guy that's never going to be like in the wide receiver top 5 fantasy discussion, but a guy who's going to live in like that 10 to 20 range, like
every year.
every year.
Yeah. All right. The next pick, next wide receiver and the next, fantasy relevant player off the board at 25. San Francisco trades up and takes Brandon Ayuk, Arizona State.
The fact that they traded up speaks a lot to me.
Yeah. They must have had him real high on the board.
Yeah, Shanahan came out. I mean, obviously he's going to say this is coach talk, but he's like, he was like the top receiver on our board, and the fact we could get him at 25, we really wanted him. He's a guy to be honest. He's almost like Debo, dude. Like he's probably a little faster. Dude's 5'11", but his wingspan is like Calvin Johnson. He has like an 82-inch wingspan. He's a yak monster, just killing it after the catch. I think you got to worry the fact he only did it for 1 year in college. He didn't really break out until N'Keal Harry left. But, yeah, man. I mean, if there's one guy who knows how to scheme and get guys involved, it's definitely Kyle Shanahan. So excited.
Yeah, and I think Brandon Ayuk will have like a lot of like a role, and he'll definitely produce next year. Let's go ahead and go to like an insane pick that I'm sure no one saw when Green Bay traded up to 26. Like I didn't, we're not – I mean, I guess we could have expected to talk about Green Bay here taking a wide receiver. But when they took Jordan Love, I just want to know y'all's immediate reaction together. What just went down?
Horrible pick.
We looked at each other and we were like, what the hell are they doing?
I don't know.
This is the thing with Aaron Rodgers. I understand you kind of want to grandfather a guy in, kind of like how they did with Aaron and Favre. But you got to trade up for a guy in the first round where Aaron is one of the most healthy, athletic 36-year-old quarterbacks I've ever seen. Actually, no, he is the most athletic, healthy 36-year-old quarterback I've ever seen. And he's already said he wants to play as long as he can. And you're investing a first-round pick. You trade up. I don't see how you don't go get help at wide receiver because they were 13-3 last year, and they just missed a wide receiver 2 on that team, and they never gave it to him. It blows my mind.
To me, it's like it's like they're giving up on Aaron Rodgers. Like you're one game away from going to the Super Bowl, and the very next year, like we're going to trade up and take a backup quarterback for 4 years. I just probably would have. I don't know, man. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, really, but just for the fact that I just think I could run a franchise better than that, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not high on Jordan Love either way. I guess maybe they see something I don't, but I just don't see anything special to be like, yeah, this guy's the next Aaron Rodgers. I just not for that first round pick. I don't know. I don't like it.
Where would you take him in your rookie draft?
I probably would just not take him. I would just be like, I don't want to be that.
I know he's never going to play.
Yeah.
I know Aaron's going to play until probably early to mid 40s.
I just don't want to look at that guy on my roster for 4 years and
Yeah.
All right,
I'm not touching him.
Let's go to the last pick of the night, last surprise of the night. I'm sure no one would have thought this, except a few people did, because I have dissected this pick. 32nd Kansas City Chiefs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. For the past, I guess, pretty much all day, I've been dissecting this man's life. I want to know everything that I can possibly know about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I mean, I've watched interviews, like podcasts, everything he's been on. He did everything. You want to know something about him? I know it. What's he want to do with his first check from the NFL? He wants to buy like a 4-wheeler. He don't care about jewelry. He wants to ride in the woods. He's a country boy. Good old Louisiana.
Country boy.
Yeah.
We with him
Yeah.
now.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
I'm fine with it. I obviously think DeAndre would have been probably the perfect fit, but no matter who goes to Kansas City, they're about to just rack up 60, 70 catches back there, and they're still going to run for 700-800 yards probably, and they're going to be a fantasy monster. So I think Clyde is easily now a top 5 pick without question.
I watched Clyde today.
Rookie.
I watched film of Clyde just like gap running schemes all day, lateral moves, quickness. I mean, the only thing I'm saying, I got the 101. It's going to come down to, I really don't know where I'm going. I keep telling people like I just drop a different name at 101 like every other hour just to get people talking. This morning I was going to draft CeeDee Lamb 101, but I'm saying I wasn't really. I just told someone that just to see what they would say. But Andy Reid wanted him. The front office wanted him. The GM wanted him. He was number 1 running back on their board. He might not be the most talented, but I think they're going to use him. They're going to use him how they want to use him. I mean,
who wouldn't want a running back in an Andy Reid offense?
Yeah, I mean, Andy Reid's drafting his next Kareem Hunt. He drafted Kareem Hunt in, the 5th round? He's drafting a running back in the 1st round. This is his guy. This is who he wants. This is who he wants the running back to run through, even if Pat's throwing. Go ahead.
Clyde had 55 catches in college. That doesn't happen a lot. It really doesn't. So this guy obviously fits the mold of what Andy Reid wants. This guy, I just think he's going to be a PPR monster. I really do.
Riley?
Yeah, Andy Reid came out and he compared him to Brian Westbrook, but he said he was better. That's absolutely insane to me. That's insane, dude.
Yeah, but who are we to be smarter than Andy Reid, how are we going to sit here and say, it's all coach talk. It's all this is the next. But still, what if you passed on him? What if you passed on the next LT?
Oh, yeah, I know, man. I know. Fantasy-wise, I think you can't ask for a better situation. I think I always thought of Clyde as a compliment back and not a
feature?
3-down back. Yeah. I thought there was 3 feature backs in the class. And I never thought of Clyde as that guy. And the fact that he's drafted into Kansas City in the first year, I'm still not sure that they want to keep him as they want to use him as a feature back. I think it's probably in the plans for the future. Because, if you recently the Kansas City, they've been more of a committee. But when Andy Reid was in Philly, he was nothing but a 3-down back guy.
Yeah.
He was a 3-down back guy, always. And if that's what their plans are for Clyde, I think he's fantasy gold. But as far as pure athleticism, I still don't know if taking one of the top 3, top 4 that are in my mind more athletic, more prototypical backs, taking one of them and maybe a little lesser situation. Just take Joe Burrow 101 and let Clyde fall.
No, do not. No. Don't do it. Clyde 101.
Either of them fall. I'm fine with it.
Clyde 101 for sure. Maybe CD. Maybe Joe Burrow. Maybe Tua. Maybe Herbert.
Gotta take Joe Exotic, number 1.
Michael Gallup?
We'll see y'all.
He's not dead!